What is up, UFC fans? It is Ziggy along with UTX, JG the Down.
Yo, back again.
Yup, UFC 170 the talk. And of course, the card change again, just like last time, just like the last one we
Man,
talked about. But at
yeah.
least it has Ronda Rousey. So we're going to talk about the top three fights and the last three, however you want to call it. JG, go ahead, start it off.
All right, so the third to last fight, we have Rory McDonald versus Damian Maya. Now, I've always didn't like Maya ever since I saw him when he went against our boy Anderson Silva. And he played that game like, I want to get you on the ground. And Silva was like, no, I'm not coming down there. I'm not fighting your game. You're going to fight my game. Damian Maya really doesn't have good stand up, especially against Silva, and I'm still not sold on him. He's more of a grounded pound person. He's always looking for the submission. And against Roy McDonald, which again he has great takedown defense, he has great submissions. He's under GSP, and unlike GSP, Roy McDonald has way better stand up than GSP. So for this one, it's kind of a no brainer for me. I'm sold on Roy McDonald, so I have Roy McDonald winning. My prediction, I think this is going to go the distance just because I feel like Maya is going to get him on the ground since Roy also likes going on the ground. I feel like this is going to go to decision, but anytime they're standing up, I feel like Roy McDonald is going to dominate.
Yeah, I think so too. I think obviously with GSP, being the guy, training him pretty much to train together. It's one of those cards right now when I look at it that a lot of people probably won't know the names, and then whenever you see them, like, oh yeah, I know that guy. McDonald's gonna show. I think he'll probably get some fans out of it, especially since GSP's gone now. So this is the guy left for Canada. Obviously, the Canadians are gonna love him.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right about Maya. He's just somebody that I really can't put my finger on why I don't like him. I don't know if it's his name or what, but he's just not a likable guy. I do think the fight would go the distance. I think it's gonna come down to the cards, and then I think McDonald will win. Split decision. I'll go.
Yeah. All right, so the next match that we have, Daniel Cormier versus Patrick Cummings. Now, this was supposed to be Daniel Cormier versus Rashad Evans, and we are talking about this before. Rashad Evans got injured,
Yep.
and this is the same thing as with John Jones the last event. So Dana White had to go out and scramble and find somebody. So they found Patrick Cummings, who this is going to be his first fight in the UFC. Now he is 4-0, and he fought in the Strike Force. And they were saying that Patrick Cummings was so good that nobody else wanted to fight him in Strike Force. So they said, well, just come to the UFC. And he took this fight with a week's notice. So I don't know who Patrick Cummings is. I haven't seen him fight yet. So I have no idea. He could be a surprise breakout star. Like if he beats Daniel Cormier, I feel like he's going to jump up just there because Daniel Cormier is also undefeated. He's 13-0. Now this fight, I'm going to go back to Rashad Evans. Now, if he was fighting Rashad Evans, even though Evans is my boy, I feel like Cormier would have bested him. Because I just feel like Rashad Evans is probably going to be his last fight. I feel like that would have been his last fight.
Yep.
Yeah, but I still have Cormier just because I feel like Cormier is a beast, and if he wins this fight, I just feel like if any one of them win this fight, they're going to jump up. But Daniel Cormier definitely, if he wins this fight, he's probably going to be in that race.
I agree right there. And like you said, Patrick Cummings coming off of Strike Force, unknown really. A lot of people probably don't know him much. The last time I saw something like this happen was the Kimbo Slice fight, and of course that nobody came in and actually beat Kimbo and
Man,
pretty much changed that whole sport after that.
yeah, that was crazy.
Exposed the fraud that Kimbo really was. Not just playing. but hopefully Cormier doesn't take it too lightly because you don't want to. I mean, the guy is getting some hype that he is undefeated or whatever, and from Strike Force, and you just certainly don't want to have that letdown where I'm supposed to fight a guy like Evans. Don't bring me this scrub, and then all of a sudden get knocked out in the first round.
Right.
With that said, I don't think that'll happen. I think Cormier was prepared for Evans, and in my opinion, Evans is a better fighter than what Cummings ever was. So I would think that with put the two and two together, Daniel should win this game. I mean, should win this fight easily. Um, it's hard to say, obviously, if it's going to be the cards or if it's going to be a knockout or anything like that, because we don't know really much about Patrick Cummings.
Right.
But I think Cormier, he has some knockout power. I think this could be one of those fights where it's either quick and it's unexpectedly a knockout in the first, second round maybe, or it goes to distance and this guy shows that he really belongs in the UFC. We'll see. There's certainly some intrigue because of it, and I think Dana White likes the fact that it is new blood and not many people know, so it's that. That I guess it's that unknown factor. You're actually excited to see something new, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I'm not like extremely disappointed at this fight, because they at least brought a person who's an unknown, and he could surprise all of us. But my bold prediction, I take Cormier second round TKO.
I think it will be second round TKO probably also. I'll go with the knockout also.
Yeah, because I just feel like Patrick, I'm pretty sure he's going to survive the first round. I just feel like he's going to at least do that. But I have a feeling that Cormier is going to overcome him.
Hey, it should happen. Definitely.
All right. Yep. And the last fight, Rousey versus McMann. Now, Rousey, I don't know about you, but I feel like a lot of people just do not like Rousey.
Man, that last fight, it was funny because she was the one that she was like the fan favorite, and then all of a sudden, I don't know if it's because of her appearance on Tough, and they just don't like the way she acted with what's her name. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it seems like everybody hated her. Everybody booed her. They didn't like the fact that she didn't shake the hand after the fight.
You know what? I think that's it. I think it was Tough. I just think that how she was acting on Tough just determined. It was like, well, we don't like this girl anymore, so why should she be champion? She should just lose it. She's a sore loser. She's not a good sport. So that might be it. But Rousey is, even though she has the title right now, I feel like she's the underdog, like amongst just the fans, not the actual scorecards, but amongst the fans, we just don't like her anymore. Now, I didn't have any problem with Rousey. I haven't watched many of her fights, but the ones that I did watch, what she goes for every single time. Every single time. It's like clockwork. She doesn't care. She wants to go for the submission.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. So even if McMann can stand over her, because McMann is undefeated and Rousey is also undefeated, so McMann is 7-0 and Rousey is 8-0. If McMann can stand up with Rousey and actually best her, I feel like she can win. But Rousey just has this uncanny ability to get the submission that she wants every time. So for that factor, I gotta go with Rousey. I'm probably going to go a third round submission, because I don't think she's going to be able to get it quick enough, but she's going to keep going for it, and I feel like she's just going to get it. So I say third round, maybe fourth round submission for Rousey.
It was shocking this last fight because usually her fights last in the first round within a few seconds. Rousey, and this was the longest she went. She actually went into past the first round for the first time, past the second round, and then finally won in the third round. Even though I watched that fight, and for some reason Rousey had the holds. It just for some reason she let up inexplicably. Like she just all of a sudden decided she could have ended in the first round. She could have ended in the second round, and then finally she did in the third round. But it was just odd. I don't know if she was putting on a show. Maybe she was trying to take a page out of Silva's book and extend it. Yeah. People probably were calling. Maybe Dana White says, "Hey, you can't make it that fast. Try to loosen up a little bit." I don't know. It just didn't seem like a normal Rousey fight. That was actually toe to toes, which is something she doesn't really do much either. I know she's probably one of the best on standing up and all that. Her ground game and her stand game were great, but for some reason she was getting punched, and that was first.
Right? People were like, "Whoa, like this is something new. We haven't seen this before."
It was kind of shocking, and then that's what makes it look like maybe there is a crack in the armor and she could be beat. With that said, though, she was taking Miesha Tate's full punches and like it was nothing. I mean, she got hit. You can see her head go back. But if that was, and Tate is a good fighter. It's not like she was a scrub. She actually could punch, and she took that like nothing. I don't see McMann being nearly as powerful as Tate. She does have the Olympic stuff also. So does Rousey. So she probably has a good ground game also. But let's face it, if she gets on the ground and thinks she can outdo Rousey, then she's just gonna find out, oh crap, it's not. This isn't gonna work. Yeah. So with that said, I don't see Rousey losing the fight. I think I think McMahon's gonna be tough enough to maybe go in the second round, but I think we're gonna see. And again, I mean, I'm also shocked that she's fighting this early, Ronda. So it's only been 2 months since her last fight. We'll see if that's lack of training, because obviously she was not really prepared to fight McMahon like she was Tate. Mm-hmm. But I could see 2-3 rounds. But in the end, a submission, chokehold, something. She's gonna make her tap out in the end. That's how we know the outcome, I think.
Yep. So me and Siggy pretty much down the board. So we have Rousey, Cormier, and McDonald for the last 3 fights. So the last thing we wanted to discuss is the new bloods coming in and how we feel like they have little to no personality versus the older fighters that we know. You know, the Evans, the Rampage Jacksons, everybody who we grew up with. Yeah, man, it's just so many people who just had, you knew who they were, like they were marketable. But these new guys, we're not hating on them, but it just feels like they're all robots.
It's funny because you look at all the other sports. You know, you talk about Jordan, and then you make the transition to like a Grant Hill, and then LeBron James. Now you know the guys of the sport. So like UFC, you know, you started off with your Royces of the world, and then you have your Chuck Liddells and all that, and then everybody was going down. But then all of a sudden you stop at Silva and GSP and all them. They're leaving. Evans is leaving, and now you really don't have like that guy right now. No
one to take their place.
The closest is probably Henderson.
Man,
and he's already starting to be considered the old head. You know what I mean? Like he almost lost his last fight, so it's just there's not. I don't know if it's the personalities are not likable. I don't know if maybe there's just not that bad looking dude like a Rampage Jackson. They're just all seem generic, robotic. They work out hard. They have that UFC look, but they don't have that UFC personality.
Right, like even GSP, like even though he physically fights like a robot, he still has his personality. Like he's very marketable. But these new guys, like okay, so we have the middleweight that we have a champion who I'm still not sold on. Then we have light heavyweight. John Jones is injured. The heavyweights now we're getting somebody, but the heavyweights was pretty much just done for at least a couple of years. Like Brock was the last marketable person.
Yeah, exactly. Once Brock was done, it was like you almost forget that there was even that heavyweight division.
Right, so we gotta really just like these champions that we have now. They gotta really have a personality. I don't feel like any of them are really marketable. And the old people that we have, they're all getting injured. It's old, like they're old. So we hate to say it, but eventually they just have to chalk it up. So Aldo is probably one of my favorites now. But even like he's just all about his business. Like he just gets in there and gets the job done. But he's not even like a real marketable person. He just gets in there and fights. Like he doesn't care. Now I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but I just feel like most of these dudes now they're just robots. They just come in there and just fight. That's it.
That's what it is. They're just kind of robotic. They don't talk much. I think that's also the thing. There's no talkers anymore. Like the trash talk, like the Evans. That was what separate. You don't even have to know what Evans' fight was about. You just knew if he fought that he was talking some kind of noise or something like that.
Right.
There's not much of that going on today. Most of these fighters are just kind of all, the same thing. Oh, I'm happy to be here. Oh, thank you for having me, kind of thing. And it's like.
Right, I'm happy for getting this opportunity to fight for the championship. Thank you, sir. Say, look, I want to beat your ass. Like, do a Nick or Nate Diaz. Like, I want a personality like that. Talk that shit in the ring and get us excited.
That's what what's your boy, the one that always gets beat by Silva and everybody else. What's his name?
I was just trying to think of his name. Oh my god, what is his name?
He's the best trash talker out there. But
the best trash talker. Like come on.
I forgot his name.
Come on. How did I forget his name?
Sonnen.
Yeah, Sonnen. Yep, Chael Sonnen. Even though he is a cornball, he has their personality. Like, he could be literally in the WWE because he talks so much trash.
I bet his record is like 13-30. I mean, it doesn't matter how many times he loses. He's just somebody you want to put in the card because he talks so much crap, but he's like a likable trash talker.
Right, but that's how he got so many opportunities. Yep. Like, who would think that he would just jump up to light heavyweight and face John Jones? Like, seriously? Come on now. Dana White knew what he was doing. He knew he was going to talk shit.
And the thing is, you knew he had no chance in hell. But if you didn't know the UFC and you watched those cards and you watched him in this press conference, you would think he was going to win the fight.
Right.
He talked so much with confidence. He was like, "Oh, He doesn't have a chance. I fought somebody. And I found something on tape that I'm going to expose and all this shit."
Referring to himself in third person, like he is a pure character.
Yep, that's what we need. So
that's just our thoughts on the situation. Let us know if you feel the same way that we do, or if you actually like these new dudes. Like, I'm not saying that we don't like them, but I don't know, they just don't have that spark. So let us know. Let us know about that. Do you like the new guys? Do you feel like they're ready? And also let us know your thoughts. Who do you feel like you want to win come Saturday?
We'll see. Well, this is Ziggy saying peace. I'm out along with JG the Don.
Thank you all for watching. We'll be back at the next pay-per-view.